Thank you, Laura and Kevin. Good morning. I am honored to be the platform assistant today, and I have a new appreciation for Christy Bronner once I got the checklist. So welcome. A special welcome to our visitors. We love adding a new ingredient to the recipes, so please make yourself comfortable. Let us know anything that you need. If you would please silence your phones. And as Reverend Clive would say, if you're on Facebook, make sure you check in and tell them where you are and that you're having a great time. And now we're going to have our opening prayer. So let's take a nice, great, big, deep breath. And we relax our bodies. We thank our bodies. We feel the love in our hearts. We join in heart space, breathing, letting go. And we are on such a wave of love, starting back with True Lent and Easter and Earth Fest and Mother's Day, just love and more love. And we send this love out into our community and out into our world. And today we ask that everyone be blessed by knowing God's presence and power. Let's just take a moment and connect with that presence and that power that is always here for us. And together we say, thank you, God. And so it is. And now, if you would please stand for the joy song.
You're here to remind me how much I'm truly loved. We're here to remind us of our magnificence, to help us awake to all the wonders that we are. We long to show us all the joy we're worthy of. We're here to remind us how much we're truly loved. We're here to remind us how much we're truly loved.
Please have a seat. Last week when they played that number, Barbara Trillo and her beloved Duncan, they were doing the cha-cha-cha right here. I just love watching them. It made me less nervous. So first we want to do our announcements. And we have a workshop today at 11:30. I believe it's in the chapel. And you get to join one of the most dynamic workshop givers, presenters I know, Reverend Tony Senf. Yes. We're so happy to have him with us today. We have a green team meeting next Saturday at 3:30. Come join our Earth Care Partner Green Team meeting for an update on the 25 program and events. And Reverend Tony Senf will be with us again next Wednesday. Christy and Reverend Clive are taking a well-deserved vacation. He will be back speaking. You're not doing a workshop next week, are you? No, the workshop is today. Then the volunteer fair is the 25th at right after the service, isn't it, Tammy? Immediately after the service. And it's a wonderful opportunity to learn about all the opportunities you have here to serve. We have a new member class Sunday, the 1st of June. You don't have to sign up to be a new member if you come to this workshop at 11:30. You can just go and find out what it means to be a member, what's the difference of attending and being a member. And the Zen Den still has new for you jewelry. And finally, during May, we are inviting inquiries and interviewing for a part-time office administrator. Please contact Tammy Bursick for details. And Tammy is in the back with her wonderful mother, Kay. There are ushers today. And now let us join in affirming our values, vision, and mission. Together, at Unity Spiritual Center of Vero Beach, we value love, the wrong words, and joy. Somebody gave me the wrong script. I am so sorry. All right, next, our vision. A world collaborating in love and unity to co-create the blessings, peace, and prosperity for all. And our mission is loving, teaching, and inspiring people to be all we are divinely created to be. It is my joy to introduce Reverend Tony Senf. Reverend Tony has been coming to us for about 7 or 8 years now. Every time he comes, he lights up the room. He gives wonderful workshops. A couple of new things that I learned about him today. He is working on his doctorate degree, and that is such a spiritual initiation, so my heart goes out to you for that. And I also learned that he only eats 1 meal a day, so you can check with Susan and Eddie, his friend, afterwards if you want more information on that. We have our wonderful prayer chaplains, Kate Turner and Astrid Parker. And our trustee of the day, where is he? The man of the hour. Marty is the trustee of the day. He's in the back. He's the one with a hot, sweaty forehead because he's been here working for the last hour. Thank you, Marty, for all that you do. We really appreciate you so much. And now, have I covered everything? I believe it's time for the daily word.
Good morning. I am Astrid Parker, and I'm blessed to be of service today as a prayer chaplain. It is my first time up on the podium, so please bear with me. And I would like to introduce my prayer partner, Kate Turner. And we will be available for one-on-one confidential prayer immediately after the service in the chapel. But to begin, we begin by recognizing the lighting of the Christ candle, and it symbolizes the anointing and blessing of the consciousness of Christ in each and every one of us, and to bless our service today. And as a reminder, the prayer box and prayer requests were prayerfully blessed in the prayer and meditation service at 9 o'clock this morning, and they are prayed over during the week by our prayer team. The prayer box is back in the Welcome Center to receive your written prayer requests. And now for the daily word. Oh, it's the right daily word. Okay, good. The word of the day is cherish. And the affirmation is, I cherish opportunities to share the love of God. It isn't the price of something that determines its value. It is how much it is cherished. It's not how something looks or what it costs that makes it beautiful. It is a love and wonder I feel that helps me cherish it. Just like the gifts I give, I infuse my relationships with love. I cherish those for whom I care deeply, and I want them to feel cherished by me. I hold the intention for love and connection that is at the heart of my every exchange. I hold the intention for love and connection that is at the heart of my every exchange. Just as I feel cherished as a divine being, I share the love of God through my kind and considerate acts. At the heart of every kindness, I extend the prayer that those I serve will feel cherished, not only by me, but by God. And from scripture today, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, Thessalonians 2:8, yes. So deeply do we care for you that we are determined to share with you not only the gospel of God, but also our own selves, because you have become very dear to us. So again, the word of the day is cherish, and please let us say the affirmation together. I cherish opportunities to share the love of God. And so it is. Again, we will be available in the chapel after the service for confidential prayer, and we are honored to be your prayer chaplains today. Thank you.
Oh, you remember? All right, let's try that again. Remember, unity is very big on affirmations, right? So I want you to affirm that it's a good morning. You all heard how to do that, right? So here we go. Good morning. Yes. I think we can do better. What do you think? All right, here we go. Good morning. Yes, sir. Yes, it is. Isn't that better? Oh my gosh, just affirm that it's a good morning. Wow. It's such a joy to be back here with all of you again. It really is. Wow. It's been a little while since I've been here. I've been really busy. As you heard, I'm starting to work on my doctorate degree, which will keep me pretty busy. And I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. But I want to do a little song for you that'll lead into the message. And this song has a real special meaning for me. Everything is holy. I have a dear friend named Greg Lieber who made his transition. But quite a guy. If you knew Greg, he was funny. He was an incredible workshop leader. If you've heard of a workshop called the Loving Course, he facilitated that. And was quite a musician. So he came to me one time, he says, Tony, I got this song I'm working on. Help me out a little bit with it. And so we worked with it a little bit. And he was going to do the music the next Sunday. I was the pastor of the Unity Church in Cleveland Heights for over 11 years. And he was going to do the song. So we worked on it a little bit and got it up to speed a little bit. And it wasn't quite right, but Sunday came, we did it anyway, right? And I couldn't quite get the harmony, so I just kind of played behind him a little bit and did the message around this song, Everything is Holy. And we said, okay, it wasn't quite right. We got a couple chords we need to work on, a couple of notes, et cetera, et cetera. We'll do that. So about 2 weeks later, Greg was down here in Florida doing a workshop, his loving course. And he was always telling jokes. And he got up between one of the sessions and said, I've got a joke. And he fell down with a heart attack and died. Right there when he said, I got a joke. Now, the joke was that everybody thought he was dead. He's still with us. He is still with us. So the other day, it hadn't been long ago, 3 months ago, a song came up on my phone, how I'll do every once in a while, and I go, wow, that's Greg's song. And I played it. And I played it for Susan and Eddie. Eddie comes over every morning. Eddie lives down in our neighborhood we're about 2 hours from here, out in the middle of we're actually right at the corner of No and Where. Yeah. And Eddie comes over every morning, and so I play that song for him. It's a great song. And I said, I've got to finish that song. So I worked on the chords and a couple of the notes and so on. And that's what I want to do for you this morning. So Greg, thank you. Thank you so much for being in my life and still being in my life. It's called Everything is Holy. Everything is holy, all the world divine. Everything is holy, 'cause God is in my mind. Everyone is holy. Everybody shines. Everyone is holy, 'cause God is in my mind. Eyes that abound only see up and down, comparing below and above. But eyes that are free bless all things equally, 'cause they choose to see only love. Everything is holy, 'cause I'm no longer blind. Everything is holy, 'cause God is in my mind. Now eyes that abound can only see up and down. They compare below and above. But eyes that are free, they bless all things equally, 'cause they choose to see only love. Everything is holy, 'cause I'm no longer blind. Everything is holy, 'cause God is in my mind. Everything is holy, 'cause God is in my mind. Oh, in my mind. Thank you. Great job. Wow. Thank you, Greg. And I know he's still hanging around telling jokes. Oh. Everything is holy, because God is in my mind. So I've been pretty busy since I saw you last. I'm, as you heard, working on my doctorate degree. And I'm getting a doctorate in metaphysical science. And my thesis and my whole, that I'm going to be getting my doctorate on, is called The Science of Consciously Creating. And what I've come to discover is that what we call transformation, enlightenment, waking up, right, salvation, is actually a science. It's not woo-woo. It's a science. And that's how I present it. So I've created a new training. How many of you, and I look out here, boy, I see a lot of familiar faces. Did some work together out here on the yard, didn't we? Wow. And a lot of you have taken the Out of the Matrix training. How many of you took Out of the Matrix with me? Wow, look at the hands. That's so cool. Look at that. You guys are the last ones that got out of the Matrix. I'm not going to teach it anymore. Because it had its time. It did its thing. Some of you know about the course. Kent State University did a 7-year study on that program and found out I was getting better, faster, longer lasting results in any positive psychology program they could find or any self-improvement program. But it's time to put that one to bed. And I've created a new training. It's called Consciously Creating. And it's about the science of how we create our lives. So the course, though, is free. It's absolutely free. You simply, if you want to jot this down, go to consciously-creating.com. Consciously-creating.com. And when you go there, it will tell you that you're going to be helping you out with my doctorate degree by going there. That's why I'm kind of encouraging you to go there. Because I need help. And what you're going to do is this. You'll go to consciously-creating.com and start the first page and just read down. And if you come to a podcast on there, listen to it and then read. If you see it, listen. Go to the next page, same thing, top to the bottom. And there's only 3 pages you need to do initially if you want to help me with my doctorate. And what the first 3 pages does, it explains about I'm looking for my doctorate, I need some help, and how you're going to help me, which I'll tell you about in a moment. And then it's just about the course itself, how it came out of the Matrix. Those of you who have taken it, it was kind of the platform of which I've created this new program called Consciously Creating. And you're going to help me, if you do it, you'll help me in this way. When Kent State did their 7-year study on my Out of the Matrix program, they used a document I'm sure you're familiar with called the Oxford Happiness Questionnaire. Right? It's a standard document in positive psychology. And you'll take that before you do the course. 29 questions, 1 through 6 answer, disagree to strongly agree, right? That's all it is, 29 questions. And then you just send me the total of those 29 answers. It's a document that kind of that determines a person's state of well-being whenever they take it in that moment. So if you're going to help me with my doctorate, you'll start by doing that. And then you'll just go through the first 3 pages. Now, when you get to the 3rd page, that's when the course starts. And you'll do the first 3 principles. There's 12 principles in the course. The first principle is called the laws of the journey. And you're going to find out that the journey has no destination and it has no distance. The goal has never changed and you can't make it. Now, when it says you can't make it, that's the 4th law of the journey. It goes like this. You can't make it, only you can. But that first Y is a small y. You, your ego, can't make it. Only you, your true self, can. Amen. That's how it works, folks. You've got to get rid of the ego's control of your life. Now, don't get rid of the ego or you'll die without it. What the ego's job is to keep your body safe. Keeps you from stepping in front of a bus. All right? Keeps you from going over and petting that cute little tiger and getting eaten. Your ego takes care of those kind of things. But your ego, because its job is to keep you safe and keep you satisfied in the moment. That's its job. Keep you safe, keep you satisfied in the moment. Okay? But to keep you safe, it looks for threat everywhere, in everyone and everything. It's always looking for threat. It's always looking for the danger, right? It even looks for threat in love, which is why we came up with all of our rock and roll songs, right? And country western songs, right? But it looks for threat everywhere. That's its job. It's not a bad guy, a bad gal, right? It keeps you safe. The problem is it looks for threat in everything, even love. It looks for threat in every emotion you've got. How many of you felt so good at one point you thought, I wonder how long this is going to last? That's the ego. This can't last, right? Yeah. So you just need to get into its proper place. You need to get out of the driver's seat. You need to get it to quit making decisions. It's not real good at future planning. Don't let it do that for you. So that's the laws of the journey. You, the ego, can't make it. Only you can. And this whole consciously creating course is about you developing and discovering who you truly are, who God created you to be. All right? And we'll get into a lot of this in the training, and I don't have a lot of time to get into a lot of this today, but realize we've been going through evolution. How do you realize that? Right? We've been going through an evolutionary process. And it wasn't until this, what we call humans, come along, that consciousness had evolved to the point where we could become self-aware within matter. That's the whole idea of evolution. Consciousness is getting us to evolve so we can become self-aware within matter. Now, I don't mean self-aware to the point where you look in the mirror and you go, oh, that's me. Okay? There are some animals that can do that. There are some of the apes, some of the monkeys, some of the bonobos that can look in a mirror and they recognize themselves. They figured out dolphins can do that. Some elephants can do that. Self-recognition. That's ego self-recognition. When I say become self-aware within matter, I'm talking about being in human form and remembering who God created you to be and living from there 24/7. That's what I mean by self-aware within matter. Okay? So to do that, we've been going through, the numbers vary, but anywhere from a couple 100,000 years, some say, to at least 60,000 years when humans began to leave Africa. All right? We've been evolving, becoming more and more conscious, more and more conscious, more and more aware. And the lower the consciousness you are, the lower the frequency that you hold, the more problems you have, the more troubles you have, the more wars you have, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we've been evolving to the point where we can become self-aware within matter. Now, we could always do that, but it wasn't always easy. That's why very few did it up to this point. Jesus was one, Buddha was one, Baha'u'llah was one, Baha'is was one. There were a number of that we never heard of because they didn't get out and they didn't need to. Right? They became self-aware within matter. But we've been evolving to the point now in history, in human history, where we can sustain what's called Christ consciousness. Up until now, it can only be maintained. You'd get it and you'd lose it. How have you noticed that in your life? You have, oh yeah, you go to church, you feel great, you're going to go out and love everybody, and then Wednesday hits, and by that time you forgot everything you learned at church. Right? Yeah. That's kind of that's where we've been. That's maintaining it. Okay, oh, I lost it. Let me get it back. We are now at the point in the evolution of consciousness where it can be sustained. But you have to work at it. You have to remember who you are. You have to give up ego thinking. Remember this ego that tries to keep you safe? Around this whole thing in the evolutionary process, it evolved, and it evolved into a thought system. The ego is nothing more than a way of believing. It's not an entity, it's not a being, it's not a thing, it's not a person. It's a way of believing. You're the one that gives it personality, you're the one that gives it form, you're the one that puts it into action. But the ego is nothing more than a way of believing. And every thought system has at its core what's called a major premise. That major premise is the major thought that any thought in that thought system can be taken back to. And the major premise in the ego's thought system is I need to be safe. Fear. is the major thought in the ego's thought system. And the whole thought system is based on that. And everything we do can be taken back to it. Just about everything, unless you're doing it consciously. We've been creating our lives totally unconsciously. But everything can be taken back to that fear in that ego thought system. Everything we do. How many of you, before you came in this morning, got up, you looked in the mirror, you washed your face, you combed your hair, maybe you guys shaved, you guys, ladies may put on a little makeup. How many did that this morning? Thank you for doing that. But here's the point. Part of the reason we do that is because we're afraid. What if you got up this morning, forgot to do anything to fix yourself up, comb your hair, brush your teeth, wash your face, and you came in here and people saw you just the way you wake up when you first get out of bed? How would you like that? The fear sets in. We have no idea how much of what we do is motivated by fear, and that's part of it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't get up and take care of yourself and comb your hair. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do. But you have to understand what the motivation is a lot of times behind all this, and much of it is fear. You have another thought system besides the egos, the one we've been used to using, right? The one we've been trained in, the one that we see in all the movies we watch, all the books we read, all the stories we tell. It's all about ego. Right? It's all about my happiness is out there somewhere. Oh, my problems are out there somewhere. So the solution must be out there somewhere. We're kind of like the guy that went to the doctor, right? And he got his exam, and it was all over and everything. He looks at the doctor and says, "Look, doc," he says, "my wife, I think she's hard of hearing. But she's a very proud person. I don't even think I could get her to come in and get you a check on it. Is there anything I can do to see if she's got..." He goes, "Oh, sure." He goes, "Do this." He says, "When you go home, what you do is you walk in the door. If you see your wife there," he said, "just say something to her in a normal tone. Don't raise your voice, just normal tone. If she doesn't respond, walk a little closer, say it again. And if she doesn't respond still, get right pretty close to her and say it again. And if she has a hard time hearing, you'll know, and then we'll work out it from there." She goes, "Okay, I'll do that." So he goes home, walks in, there's his wife over in the kitchen fixing dinner. He walks in and goes, "Hey, sweetie, what's for dinner?" He doesn't hear anything. So he walks about halfway across the room. "Hey, sweetie, what's for dinner?" Still doesn't hear anything. He walks right up behind her and says, "Hey, sweetie, what's for dinner?" She turns around and says, "For the third time, chicken." The problem isn't out there, is it? The problem's right here. Right here. Now, here's the fortunate thing. We've been running on this ego thought system, everybody, because we had to go through this evolution of staying safe, right? I mean, think about it. Back in caveman days, you heard rustling in the bushes, you're better off running, right? Don't know what it is, let's run, then we'll find out. That's what we've been raised on, folks. Nothing wrong with it. The ego isn't bad. It just wanted to keep you safe. And it wanted you to be satisfied in the moment, which has nothing to do with happiness. We confuse the two, right? Now, you have another thought system. One that you were given when you were created. And it's a thought system not based in fear. It's a thought system based in what? There you go. Love. And we've been wrestling through this evolutionary process, and we switch back and forth, don't we? We're afraid sometimes, we're upset sometimes, we're sad sometimes, we're lonely sometimes, right? And other times everything is great and everything's right. And we're switching back and forth between these two thought systems all the time. Evolution, at its highest level, is really about learning to think with this loving thought system and to let go of the fear thought system. Let the ego do what it will do. It will keep you from getting run in front of a bus. You don't have to run your life with it. It'll do what it needs to do. It'll keep the body safe. But you need to be thinking with this other thought system that's based in love. Who you really are only thinks with that thought system. Your ego never thinks with that thought system. It only knows fear. Why? Because it isn't a being, it isn't an entity, it's just a way of thinking. It's based in fear. You get to choose. You get to choose. Okay? Which one do you think with? Now, how often do you get to choose? Every moment of every minute, of every hour, of every day. You're choosing between love and fear every moment. So what this is really about is about remembering who you are, your true self that God created you to be, and let go of the ego identity that you have. How many of you study A Course in Miracles? Any Course in Miracles students in here? Good number. I knew Tony would raise his hand. We had some great discussions about it. I've been studying A Course in Miracles for over 40 years now, every day. And one of the main thrusts of A Course in Miracles is about you remembering who you truly are. But it's about letting go of the ego. That was the Course's main theme. Letting go of the ego. Not trying to kill it. Okay? But let it go as an identity. See, we all think we're separate individual beings, don't we? Objective beings in an objective world. Isn't that the way it looks? That's not the truth. The truth is we're all one. And we see our differences as that, differences and things we need to be afraid of because the ego's out there looking, what's going to go wrong here, what are they going to do, okay? And we look at all these wonderful differences, all these wonderful varieties that we have out here, and we see them as threats. And we wonder about them, I wonder what they're going to say, I wonder who they are, right? Yeah. It's letting go of that ego identity. Remember who we all really are. This whole idea of oneness is a tough one to get our heads around, isn't it? We're all one, and yet we're so different. One of the ways that we've come up with in our morning little study group, and it comes over about 7:30 in the morning we start. And we'll go until 10:30, 11, sometimes 12 o'clock. We'll spend 3 or 4 hours every morning studying A Course in Miracles, A Year of Forgiveness, and we just finished up A Course of Love. So we do 3 books every morning. And we'll study 2 or 3 hours every morning doing this stuff. And one of the analogies that we came up with that really kind of helped me get my head around this oneness thing. So we've all heard that there are trillions and trillions and trillions of snowflakes, right? And we've also heard what? There are no two alike. Is that amazing? Trillions of snowflakes and no two alike. Very specifically unique within themselves. Yet, they're all water. Isn't that amazing? They're all the same. And yet, very specifically, uniquely different. That's us. I look out and see all these snowflakes out here. But now, what I'm beginning to see is the waterness, the oneness, the Christness of us all. It's a different way of looking at the world. But to do that, you have to remember who you are. You can't see the water until you know you're the water. You'll just see snowflakes, differences, things to be afraid of, things to wonder about, right? You gotta start seeing the water. You gotta start seeing the Christness in all of this. And when you start seeing that oneness, you see it in yourself. You gotta know who you are. Who are you really? That was so cool. They had it on the marquee out front when we pulled in. Who are you really? Wow. And it was wonderful to me because I didn't give a service in those 11 years up in Cleveland. I didn't do a workshop. I didn't do a training. I didn't do an intensive weekend that I didn't ask this question. Who are you really? They were in my congregation. And that was the answer. Who are you really? Yes. So is the person sitting next to you, and the person behind you, and the person in front of you, and the people all around you. That's the waterness of us. But we don't look at that, do we? We look at the snowflakeness. And some of the snowflakes we like, and some of those snowflakes we don't. Right? Yeah. That's because we're not seeing the waterness, the Christness. But who are you really? And the only reason we don't see it in someone else is because in that moment we're not seeing it in ourselves. We have forgotten who we are. And when you remember who you are, you'll begin to see it everywhere, in everyone, and everything. And at that point, everything is holy. All the world divine. Because God is in my mind. God is always in your mind, but you have to choose to remember. God gave you everything when you were created. And he also gave you free will. That means you get to believe whatever you want to believe. Think whatever you want to think. Do whatever you want to do. Whether it's true or not. Because you are a powerful creator. And the thing is, you get the effects, and it's called your life. Isn't that amazing? So all this I'm teaching in this Consciously Creating course. It's got 12 principles. It starts with the laws of the journey. And then it goes into the laws of frequency science and subjective science. There's an oxymoron, huh? I have a fellow that's part of my study group I do every Tuesday night on Zoom. And I've known him for years. I knew him in Cleveland. He went to my church up there and a lot of my workshops and classes. He's a quantum physicist. And when I said subjective science, he goes, Tony, there's no such thing. Science does its best to try and get rid of the subjective. I said, yes, but we've been using the scientific method to prove we're not good enough all of our lives. He said, what? I said, well, look. As a little child, you observe things. You do a little drawing for your mom who's really busy over there at the sink doing dinner or whatever. And you go up and go, Mom, look what I did. She goes, oh, that's sweet, sweetie. Go back and play. I got stuff to do. Doesn't seem bad, but you go, oh, wow, maybe my art's not as good as I thought. And other things happen in life like that, right? You go up and go to school and you ask the girl to dance and she says no. Boy, my art really isn't good enough now. Right? Or you don't get asked to the prom by the guy you wanted to get asked by, whatever. You come home with a C and your parents expected at least a B. Now you're not good enough again. So these are all experiments that we run on our lives, and we observe. And then we draw a conclusion. Everybody familiar with the scientific process, right? And we go through it. Now, every time you have an experience, that's an experiment, and you're experimenting in your life. Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Am I doing this right? Am I not doing this right? Do they like me? Do they not like me? Will they love me? Will they not love me? Blah, blah, blah. And you're running these experiments all the time. And then you collect all this data and you come to a conclusion, which is, yep, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't matter. I'm not important. I'm not lovable. No one cares about me. Very scientific. But we don't know we're doing it. It is a scientific method used subconsciously. That's why my course is called Consciously Creating. You've been subconsciously creating your life since you took your first breath. Actually before, but we won't get into that today. So you've been creating your life since you took your first breath. Subconsciously. Every moment. You've been the scientist of your own life. You've been drawing conclusions and coming to the realization, well, I'm not good enough. I'm good at this, but I'm not good at that. No. It's time to start creating your life with consciousness. And that's what my course is about. So yes, there is subjective science. So you're going to take laws of the journey, frequency science, which says that everything in the universe is vibrating and gives off a frequency. And then you get into the laws of resonance, which means what we call the laws of attraction. Scientifically, it's called the laws of resonance. And you're going to find out that transformation is a science. And like any science, if you'll follow the steps, you'll come to this result. How many of you want to wake up and remember who you are and just live a life of nothing, peace, love, and joy? Wave at me. Follow the steps. It's guaranteed. It's a scientific procedure. And if you want to find out more about it, go to my website, consciously-creating.com. You'll take those first 3 steps, they're right on there. You'll do the laws of the journey. frequency science and subjective science. At the end of that, if you want to continue with the rest of it, there's 9 more principles, you simply register. It's free. You register. That way you'll set up a password, and that allows you to get into the other 9 principles. You can't get into them without registering. And they include reality on 3 levels. Okay? Laws of the intangible. Oh, that's a good one. Laws of the intangible. Do you know what we've been raised on as the laws of the tangible? Right? To have something, you have to get it. And to get more, you have to work harder, get more education, but you have to acquire more. And then to keep it, you got to hoard it. And if you really want to have it all the time, you got to protect it. Isn't that what we've been taught? Guess what? Intangibles don't work that way. Total different set of laws. What are the intangibles? Well, things you can't weigh, things you can't measure, things you can't qualify and quantify. Things like, little things like love, peace, joy, acceptance, self-worth, passion, creativity. All those are intangible, aren't they? But they're the things we all want. Those of you who took out the matrix, remember the first thing I asked you on Friday night, what do you want more than anything else? And I've gotten the same answers every time I ask that question. For 11 years that I was doing that class, I've asked thousands of people, and I get the same answers every time. What do you want more than anything else in your life? The first answer I always get is peace of mind. Intangible. More love in my life. Intangible. A sense of worth. Intangible. A sense of acceptance. Intangible. Freedom. I always get those answers. Every time. You guys gave them to me when I did the class with you. Same answers. And they're all intangible. But if you apply the laws we've been taught, the laws of the tangible, you can't get them. Different set of laws. Wow. I'm not even going to tell you what they are. You have to go to the class. They're on the website. They're on the website. Real quickly, it's just the opposite. If you want love, you got to give it away. Doesn't make sense with stuff, does it? If I give it away, I won't have it. Love is totally different. All those intangibles are totally different. This is my Consciously Creating course. It's got 12 principles. So come and finish that with me, will you? So what you'll do is you'll take the Oxford Happiness Questionnaire. You've got 90 days to complete the course, and I asked you to take at least a week with each of the principles. Folks, you've never learned anything by reading a book. You've never learned anything by anyone standing up here and talking to you as I'm doing this morning. You've only acquired information. You don't learn it until you walk out and put it into practice. You only learn through experience. It's the only way you learn. Other than that, you're just acquiring head information. And your intellect will not bring you peace. Your heart will. And it gets to your heart when you put it into action, when you apply it. Other than that, you just acquired information. So I ask you to take at least a week with each of these principles. But I give you 90 days to do the whole course. At the end of that 90 days, you'll take the Oxford Happiness Questionnaire again, and I'll compare the answers. And then 6 months later, I'll send it to you again, or you'll actually have it. You'll send it to me again 6 months later, and I'm going to take that data, and that's what I'm going to use in my doctorate thesis. So I've probably got about another year at least of gathering all this data and writing up my essays. I've got the essays done. The other cool thing about this, I got to wrap this up. I'm running over here, aren't I? All right, I'm just going to stop now. If you want to hear more about this, and what I'm going to do, let me do this. I'm going to close with this. My workshop is going to be Who Are You Really? And you'll get one of these. And we're going to go over this. But without this, let me tell you who you are. This is what the workshop we're going to get into detail about. And if you can't stay the workshop, I understand you guys got plans. You maybe not know we were going to do this. So I want you to listen. I want you to take this in. I want you to think about it this week. Who are you really? Who are you in truth? You are a specifically unique extension of the one without an opposite. Amen. The absolute. The divine and unconditional love that we call the Creator. the source, the universe. That which we call Allah, Brahma, wow, Jehovah, Sophia, Father, Mother, God. That makes you the perfect child of God. You are the light of the world. You are a facet in the diamond of truth. That which we call Atman, Brahma, Vishnu, Krishna, the Christ. That's your true identity. That's who you are, really. You are the Christ. You just forgot. You took on a false identity called an ego. You need to let go of that identity. You need to remember who you are. This is who you are, really, because this is who God created you to be. Now, we had to go through evolution to get there. And remember, but we're there now. So join me, if you will. We'll be over in the chapel. I'm going to give you one of these. It's what I just gave to you. You are a specific, unique extension of the one without an opposite, the absolute, divine, conditional, unconditional. It's all right here. And we're going to break this down. And I want you to understand who you really are. Join me. Thank you. Yes. We're going to do a little meditation. Maybe I probably stand up. I was going to sit down and meditate. Let me stand up and do this. If you would, get comfortable in your seat. And I want to use this meditation for you to meditate on what I just shared with you. For you to meditate on who you really are. I want you to vision yourself as we go through this meditation of walking through this world the way you were created to walk through this world. You were sent here with the same mission Jesus was sent here with. How you doing so far? How you've done so far doesn't matter. What matters is how you're going to do it from this point forward. That's all that matters. The now. So take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Another deep breath. Let it go. You are the perfect child of God. Living your life through this specifically unique being you know of as you. Move now from your head to your heart. Keep them both together. You need them both. But move to your heart so you can feel being who you really are in truth. Your true self. See yourself now going from this place back out into the world and being your true self. Picture yourself walking through your day, seeing other people, and remembering who they are really, in their specific uniqueness. They are the Christ, just like you. Now picture people that you know, your loved ones. People that you hold in your heart very closely. And now see who they really are. They are the Christ, just like you, in their own specifically unique way of being. And now see some people that you know that are not so close to your heart, friends, acquaintances. And now see them for who they really are. They're the Christ. Hold that image within your mind. Remember who you are. And remember who you are fully, clearly, openly, as you remember some people that tend to push your buttons a little bit. Sometimes in their presence you tend to forget who you are. But now I want you to remember. Remember who you are. Remember who they are. They've just forgotten. There isn't a being on this planet that's not God's child. They've forgotten. It is now your task to remember for them. So see yourself now as the Christ that you are, surrounded by the Christ that everyone is. And take note of the heaven you are in. Hold that image as you go through the day. Remember who you are. Remember who everyone is. Remember their water as you enjoy their snowflakes. Take a deep breath. Let it go. Welcome back, Christ.
This world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this life as find my God. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. I'll go inside to find my God. I'll go inside to find my God.
Thank you, Laura and Kevin, and thank you so much, Reverend Tony. We hope that you will join us at the workshop. It's time for our offertory, and I just want to say about the workshop, I believe it's a $30 suggested donation, but if you had not planned on that, I'm sure no one's going to be turned away. So look forward to you coming at 11:30. So if you would take your gift or intention in your hand. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And we thank Tammy and Kay for taking care of our collection. Do we have an offertory song?
We did.
Good, let's have it.
I didn't know if you were going to keep talking.
Okay, thank you.
All right, this is a song by an old hippie from the 40s. But you probably know it by Nat King Cole. There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy. They say he traveled very far over land and sea. A little shy and sad of eye, but very wise was he. And then one day, one magic day, he passed my way, and we spoke of many things, fools and kings, and this he said to me, the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return.
Thank you. Kevin, thank you so much. Every time you do that, I wonder how you can do it. It's time to bless our offertory. Just take a moment. Nice, great, big, deep breath. Thank you, God, for the blessing of these generous gifts today. We anoint this offering with your presence and power, committing it to your purpose in our ministry and in the world to bring the blessing of your grace and good to one and all. Thank you, God, and so it is. And now let us stand for our joy song. I'm sorry, peace song. Which song are we on?
Joy and peace.
Joy, peace.
That's a good idea.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, that we all are being. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with thee. Let this be the moment now. Let this be my joyous vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. God surrounds us. The love of God